Peace, everyone. I hope you are very well wherever you may be. Welcome back to another video exploring boundless potential. I am your host, Joe Salvador, and today we will continue the review of Manuscript Peaks and Valleys, which is a recent publication that I released in November 2024. So stick around, and if you haven't already, definitely like, share, subscribe to the channel for much more. We have a long way to go, and we're just getting started. However, this mini-series is already full of videos and full of information that can help elaborate or expand the consciousness, awareness of the individual. So definitely, I encourage anybody to check out those videos in this playlist. We are in chapter 5 right now, part 2. So this book we're about 3/4 done with this manuscript, and I already have another book called Synchronous Universe that is available, and we will be reviewing Synchronous Universe on this channel also. So definitely stick around. We have a lot to do and a long way to grow, and we're here to help each other remember that we are all part of one consciousness, and there are a lot of distractions in the matrix. This material is designed to allow the individual exercises to go within and cultivate and develop relationships with the internal divine machinations that are perpetually flowing in the self-contemplation of the life spirit, or the sacred fire within. That is your fractal soul, or of the omniscient oversoul. We have a responsibility here in this vessel to be as honorable as we can in expressing our emotions and expressing our experience through the spirit, which is in a perpetual state of self-contemplation. Without further ado, let's get right into the manuscript, and feel free to grab a pen or pencil and something to write on if you'd like to jot down a few notes today. I'm going to read chapter 5, part 2, and then we will elaborate a bit, and we'll be out of here. All right, part 2 of Synchronistic Awareness, 4 Seasons, Internal Clock, and the Inner Zodiac. All of the seasons are moving through the consciousness of man, perpetually reflections of the soul and body, as are the zodiac maps in the sky moving eternally through our entire being, as well as the elements of aether. Fire represents spirit, air represents mind, water represents emotion, earth represents body. And speaking of synchronicities, the student has traversed into deep wilderness and so far successfully developed tools for understanding how all that is happening in the outer world is but a mere reflection of the inner world. Patterns of personal relationships have now reflected themselves in the patterns of the seasons, the constellations, in the chakra system, and in the awareness of the spirit. The student is aware the creative potential is boundless and cannot be measured. Likewise, to the incalculability of the capacity of mind, and all that is within is all that is without. At this point, let us briefly note the symbolical references that dominate the pockets of the modern world around you. These energy patterns should give an idea of who and what is corrupting and trapping the consciousness in lower vibrational fields on Mother Earth with black magic rituals. We have noted this in previous videos, so again, I encourage everybody to please go back and check out the videos in this mini-series, because there are different perspectives and elaborations that are regarding the distractions and external influences that are in our environmental fields, much of which we don't even really have any control of, other than our choice to not engage with it at all. But as you can see, part of the course of this current day indoctrination of getting everybody advanced with technology, you'll see that they're making people become dependent on using these technologies. So for instance, I'll give you an example. I'm planning out some backpacking trips, excuse me, and some longer backpacking trips, which I will also be sharing in this channel, by the way. Um, and it would be like some years ago, people nowadays, especially my generation, may not be able to fathom, reading a map, you using a map or a road map, an atlas for that matter, even traveling in a car. And nowadays, we are basically all reliant on GPS systems. Speaking for my generation, at least for what I know, some people can read, have practiced using maps, but many people are completely reliant. And I was somebody who was, when I was first growing up getting my car and I had a phone, so I used GPS even for simple things because GPS would tell you if there's traffic. It's like, oh, this is convenient. But what happens is you start not exercising the map in your mind, or when you travel, your awareness level just naturally drops because you don't need it. You don't need it, right? Because your dependence is now, you become a consumer reliant on something that really doesn't have any true nature to help. It's not really helping you in the long run. It's actually, it seems like it's doing a job for you, which don't overcomplicate what I'm saying. I do note that it is helpful and I'm not against using it. I'm saying that if we never use it, then you're never going to work in the awareness when you're traveling, and that experience alone of perception, developing perception of what's going on around you, is part of the minute detailed part of the life experience that exists in moment to moment every single day of our waking lives. So in our sleep and in our dreams as well, in our astral realms. So that's just to note, and that's just one example. Obviously there's many. I mean, you could say calculator or whatever, but the encroachment of technology has sort of been advertised to be down our throat. So, and I'll give another example of a child 2 years old that now, instead of having the reading a book to the kid, or holding the baby, rocking the baby to sleep, everybody has got something in their hands, or their attention has been being distracted, and they put another distraction like a screen, a black mirror in front of the baby's face for them to just start consuming whatever the heck type of child programming is going on in our modern day mainstream. God only knows. God only knows what's going on. So, whether people are aware of this or not, that's up to them. It's a responsibility. This is why I keep using that word. You have an ability to respond to these external influences. Stop feeding your prana and your life force energy into this bullshit, and stop giving this shit to your kids, acting like it's not going to have any effects on them. Because this should mean more to you for the purpose, for the sake of the future of the children. If anything, if you don't care about yourself, which obviously I don't even like to speak those words, but nowadays that is a mentality. It's a nihilist. I'm trying to keep this shit realistic too. And I don't want to be too fluffy. So if you do catch these videos, let me know what you're interested in knowing about, because we're just hitting the tip of the iceberg here, and I wanted to bring in a general gist of the energy of what I have to share through the context. But we can take and elaborate on anything and work together on constructing new relationships and new categories of study, and new provoking thoughts and ideals that can shape our future. Every day we are doing that every day anyway. So the more we initiate and take responsibility of assuming the powers of the divine machinations that surge through us, that is constantly moving through our being, and we're not misusing or abusing them, we can really cultivate anything. That is where boundless potential is. It's in the chaos. It's in the soul. It's perpetual motion. So who you surround yourself with, all that is within is all that is without, is going to determine where you are now in your life experience here in this physical construct, which is the lowest this is the lowest plane of existence. Okay? The physical realm, where you are materially attracted and sensually attracted to gratification and pleasure. It's the most temporary, lowest and temporary place. And if you are unaware that you have opportunity to traverse multi-dimensional realms while we are experiencing this physical, wouldn't you think the people that are controlling the consumerism, wouldn't you think that would be part of their strategy, is to psychologically induce the individual to purchase or consume what they are providing? And if they make up problems, can't they also make up solutions too? You see, we've become such a consumer in a collective state of society and community, that our approach in general has become reversed to our ancestors, who are living through us right now. But a lot of us we are keeping these energies dormant because we are looping ourselves into this current physical construct of bullshit. It's bullshit pleasure. It's nothing. All this is a temporary construct. Well, we should be working towards our next trajectory. If I get trapped in a physical loop of overindulgence, it's keeping me from accessing my higher chakras. It's keeping me from accessing the higher planes of thought frequency, so that I can truly traverse to courses of expansion in my consciousness and in my spirit, which is the ultimate. It is the ultimate challenge here. They are going to sell you that having the big house and the big, car, or whatever, the fancy car, the illusions of this matrix that don't mean it doesn't mean diddly unless you live in that realm. If you live in the lowest realm, you're going to magnetize yourself to those types of people. And that's fine. I'm just saying there's different types of people here for a purpose. If you're strictly material, you're not going to have spirituality to lean on. You won't have a ladder to climb. You're going to get looped into the material realm. And now your generations to come when you die, you don't have anywhere to traverse to. You got to loop back into this fucking matrix, because we haven't worked out spiritually internally where we need to go. It's already planned out. So assuming responsibility is just initiating the guidance system that's already moving. That's the life spirit, the contemplation of the life spirit that's perpetually flowing through you. That's your guidance system. We're supposed to be harnessing this and respecting it. Now you can disrespect yourself, obviously, right? We could be harsh critics, self-critics. There's different ways to look at this, but when we can zoom out all the way and sort of let go of that attachment we have egocentrically and start shaping things from the soul and spirit and working from an emergence point instead of trying to consumer the pleasure, again, feed our ego. So we're living in our lower nature, essentially, for a day after day after day, and not doing the work. That's the loop. These are the stagnation loops in this agenda that's been carried out for decades, centuries, really. When you study where mainstream media comes through and has come to, you see the works of the occultists and the works of the individuals who have studied magic, who have studied alchemy. They keep a lot of information programmed instead of on a course of expansion. It's stolen and then it's reworked, revised, and stuff is completely removed, and then whatever they want to spit back into the mainstream that's been completely refined, revised. All the mineral has been stripped from the water, so there's nothing there. And if anything, they've added now a chemical to it. You see, now it's just really contaminated water with enough fluoride in it to keep you from dying and keep it from feces contamination. Like, there is no mineral in it. You see what's happened now? Everything's lost its quality. So we've already passed that point, and our true measure of quality is going to be determined from within, from your heart, from your soul. You can see people, you can see aging, distress. You can see faces who don't laugh. You can see people who have been, what's the word, toxified in this life and haven't found a way to getting clarity. And none of this is going to be done from some figure outside of you. This isn't you. You're not going to sit here and personify an idea of a belief system and tell me that you're giving all of your responsibility out. Again, here we go, giving out our attention to something that's supposed to be doing something for us when we should be taking the responsibility within. And I'll certainly say that it's not that materials are bad, it's that we start to worship them here. That's one of the loops of stagnation of the soul in itself, when we think that we're enhancing our lifestyle by experiencing better material. You do realize, and sometimes you have to go through some of this to understand it, which is necessary. And some people don't. Some people have a awareness that somebody may have taught them, or maybe they had a self-recognition earlier than others. And some people have to buy things to realize that, and some people just love to buy things. They just love materials. So there's all different levels in this matrix. Everything's permitted, and there is no right and wrong is the only way. That's how these are looping constructs of belief systems. You already inherently know what's good and bad, but if somebody had an intention to do something bad, I don't want to even, whatever. If they think that it's okay to do, then who are you to tell them that it's bad? You know what I mean? If we have law and order, that would be, if there's any truth, if there's any justice in that, then it would be held there by having some accountability in the physical construct, even though the universe is holding you accountable before you even do anything. So again, the awareness of people having that capability is what brings an internal recognition to note, okay, everything that I'm around, who I surround myself by in my environment is part of who I am. It does shape my experience of this construct of reality that we go through, that we're traversing. So I just wanted to get out some other ideas, and excuse the verbiage there. I usually don't use too many expletives, but it is what it is. I'm not at church, and this is, if I'm, most of these videos won't have them, but if they do, just, if it bothers you, whatever, get over it. So let me go here. I'm just saying it's not that serious because we have bigger fish to fry. Hopefully you get that point just through what I'm sharing. So again, okay, here we go. Let me get into, this is a perfect segue. Let me jump into the next page. And pull this up. In other words, collective, premeditative, malevolent thought patterns, expressing through specific shapes and symbols intended to transmit or impress into the subconscious mind of the individual subject to these vibrational stimuli when introduced into their environment, potentially on strategic and carefully planned schedules. This might be one of the biggest sentences in the book. All right, so please, again, take notes if you will. That might be one of the biggest sentences in the book. You understand this already, so we're just bringing this to a light of awareness and continuing to expand from that light. And remember not to get ourselves looped in any of these malevolent thought patterns and frequencies that are programming us on the external in our environment. And of course, I say potentially on strategic and carefully planned schedules, but we all know, I mean, literally look at broadcasting and programming. It's on strategic and carefully planned schedules. So it's not really potentially. That was a little sarcasm. But I do believe most students who have given intention of expanding their truth have taken notice to this, and what we reference as demonic or satanic influences exist. Keep in mind the polarization, parameters, and belief systems that are being upheld by egregores or collective thought forms in the matrix. If the angel and devil are on either shoulder, one must reference neither and refer to source, God, or the first I. Once attuned to the inner sight, one can successfully raise the thought frequency above the trapping polarity parameters and redirect energy patterns accordingly to further protect prana and harness creative life force. And with that, family, if you will to take notes, please pause the video, on this page, and jot anything down that you wish. These are some big pages too. So again, take your time with this book. The entire book is on YouTube. The audiobook is on this channel. Each page, each chapter is broken down in different perspectives, but there is boundless potential in this within you and within this material. You can read it 10 times and get 10 different points of view in any day. So, just refer to it. I think I noted this, but refer to it when necessary. You know where to find it. And if you would like to, again, support, which is the ultimate way to support and invest in yourself too, these are available, and you can have it on your bookshelf set it right behind you for when you wish to refer to it. You can open right up to it. And I made these books so that you can jot notes in them. It's really easy to underline. It's spaced apart, really easy to read. So, it's a workbook, but really this is about your inner workbook and expressing your inner creative essence boundlessly through this life experience. Ooh. All right, family. I think that's good for today. We're at page 50. It's a great pausing point for today. We'll pick back up and close out with chapter 5 in the next video. I also wanted to say thank you again to anybody that's been part of this channel, the growth of this channel. I just started putting these videos up in the last so many months, so slowly but surely. Thank you so much for your support. It really means the world, and We're going to keep growing individually and collectively. If you would like to share any of your experiences, comments, insights, I would love to hear them, and I appreciate them. Also, if you'd like to share this with somebody, of course, I appreciate that too. It will really help the channel grow at these beginning stages. We're going to keep going. We have a long way to go, and we're just getting started. So, again, make sure to have fun with this material. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. Don't take it too seriously. We all have work to do. Don't be a harsh critic. Don't beat yourself up. Love yourself. We are here to make mistakes. The mistakes are here to teach us. Just like pain, just like challenge, just like karma. So embrace all that is within and all that will be without. And focus on what we can control. That is our prana, our life force energy, our breath, our tongue, our speech, our attention or intention. Ooh. You guys got lucky if you stuck around to the end of the video. We're going to finish chapter 5 because I just realized this is the last paragraph of chapter 5. So let me hopefully close this out with this final thought here in the book. As we expand to chapter 6, protecting life force, the student will be given a brief note to assess in order to raise their overall frequency and protect the life essence of their being. This will be concise yet powerful as the male recognizes the vital importance of controlling their seed and the female recognizes the vital importance as the mother and the womb, carrier of life. So just for a sneak peek into chapter 6, we're talking about our reproductive life force essence, our sexual fluids, our sexual organs and fluids, how important and vital protecting our life force essence is, and how we can develop healthy relationships, cultivate healthy relationships, and expressions of externalizing these emotions in the physical plane. So again, being honorable with some of the deeper aspects of the nature of our being, including these emotions, which sexual emotion, obviously the advertisers, the commercial maker, they know that this is the most powerful infiltrative area to bombard and control humans through. It's programmed into I guess everything, because it's inherent to nature. It's inherent in nature. Even electromagnetism has its masculine and feminine androgyny, in the cosmos. Electricity and masculine, and magnetism, it's female. These counterparts congeal as our bioelectromagnetic field. These are universal forces of energy. And protecting our life force is our quality of life. That is our quality of life. So little things that we're not paying attention to because we've been looped into certain programs in the matrix field and not understanding the long-term effects that these can have. This is what, another challenge of transmuting our energy patterns. Knowing we're the alchemist and have this potentiality boundlessly surging through our life spirit. That's how powerful some of these archons forces are, and how much we have to work to go through the challenges to transmute into new powerful energy patterns that serve purpose here. So again, that's a little sneak peek into chapter 6, which chapter 6 is brief as well. It's pretty straight to the point. And while we're on the topic, I know that there are 100, at least in the male side, channels, YouTube channels that have popped up in my feed for protecting your life force. Although in the algorithm, it's called semen retention. So that's the algorithm trend. that's been popping up. And people who make YouTube videos, they study this and analyze what's popular in the algorithm and say, well, I'll just hop on. And just like the crypto or stock market, the trend is your friend until it ends. So semen retention for the male side of things is like super popular in the algorithm. I'm just giggling because this matrix is fucking crazy that we live in. But this is going to focus on protecting your life force, which is sort of like what all these some of these male YouTube channels have made their channel about, essentially, which obviously you can expand into a lot of other things about just overall well-being. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because that's certainly where this chapter sort of hints at, taking responsibility for this chakra center, which is part of our entire being, of course, but more notably our reproductive centers. And on the female side, I don't know, please, if you come across this, if there's anything in that algorithm, it's not hitting mine. It's not coming to my algorithm for probably more obvious reasons of me being a male. But let me know if there's any thing that like you see that's pops up in the algorithm on the female side of the algorithm, and it's just like it's just like the trend, right? The trend, the topic, the headline. I just think it's so, it's the matrix, right? Like, anyways, those who are doing those videos, by the way, I have watched a few, and a few of the guys out there, man, they really have expanded from the base of that into some deeper insights, which is amazing. And others who are more like they're really eating up the trend. They're really riding the trend out, and that's all that's I mean, they got whiteboards behind them breaking down, like, just to not spill your seed. And I understand from life that it is a hard nature to embrace, and we are already we're programmed as children with all this hypersexualized. It's in the commercials, it's in the music, sometimes in the family, it's in your household, right? So we're dealing with traumas that some of it we don't even uncover until years later, and it's like, wow, so this is why I would feel this way when something would happen, or I would think something and it would trigger a certain, you see, traumas that are in the subconscious planes that we have to traverse. Hold the light up to them, wave it around, and say, oh, okay, I see what you are now. I see what this is now. Now I can embrace it and deal with it. I'm 30. This is probably a pretty higher topic for the younger generations. As you get older, I think that naturally you will grow. I mean, you could think you could be a male, you could be a dog mind forever, but really these forces will stop working as you keep abusing them. So you can't be. You'll be, a spade dog or whatever. So, I just think it's funny how crazy powerful these algorithms are. If I watch one video that's has one of these trending topics, and it's fed itself through the algorithm, 10 more videos pop up with a similar algorithmic with the vibe to it, and it's like, wow. I just not asking if I was interested or cared or not. It's just funny. It's bombarding. I'm laughing because of how sick it is, actually. So I have to get good laughs out of how disgusting this place is. YouTube has been a great place to share, but let's not get it twisted, guys. Like, again, this dependency thing, like, we could make our own platform, our own websites, and share and stream and communicate. And if all went to hell in a handbasket on the Internet of Things, which, by the way, guys, it's not going anywhere. This is the future of the Aquarian age. All this whole all this shutdown, internet shut. It's like, how do you think any of these transactions are going to function? They need the cloud too, guys. They're not just going to take you off of it. That's how you become dependent on them without really, you're just like sort of subconsciously, because it's all digital. You don't even have to physically deal with this stuff. So it's so in the background, and we're so desensitized. That's why the awareness, the unconscious competence is so important. The subconscious awareness, that's why it's so important. That's what they're literally programming from the day that we are delivered here into this physical plane. They're trying to emulate the simulation and encode us with these patterns before we even have a facilitation of consciousness, and before we're even on our 2 feet walking. They got baby shows that are pumping in tunes and sound frequencies to the baby that's making them do things and act crazy. And this, let's just set that aside, the media. Let's set the media and entertainment aside. How about just this food, man? Nutrition. Let's just look at the food or their lack of, for that matter. The food has literally been, most of it that has any maybe little bit of nutrition density, little bit, is grown at places where, in dirt and still in dirt, where the dirt hasn't been stripped from all its minerals through poor regenerative agriculture and other commercialized what am I trying to say? Commercialized systems that are weakening the entire ecosystem, not just the soil system. So, what do you think what type of fruit nutrition density you think is going to be in that vegetable or that fruit if the soil is depleted of the minerals and the nutrients? It's still going to grow. And if they put certain chemicals that kill off the bad stuff, it might look really good. I mean, this is the illusion, guys. Like, even down to reading the labels and looking at calories, and it's like, this is, how do you feel internally? How does your body feel when you ingest something? Do you feel like you can eat food? Once you stop eating bad food, like nutritionally poor food, it might taste really good, but you stop and you give yourself a break, you realize that those are where the parasites attach to. So they're talking about another thing that's in the trends, man. Parasitic cleansing and stuff like that in the trends, man. Keto in the trends, man. Life's about balance. This is my opinion, but even Earth constantly working itself to equilibrium, just like homeostasis in your body is constantly working itself to a place of equilibrium, a balance point. And that's what life's about in terms of our responsibility and all of the divine energies and forces that we have to make good or evil happen in this experience here. And reminding ourselves this is who we are. That is our experience. So again, we're here to make mistakes and refine from those, but not loop ourselves into the same ones over and over and over until we finish here, and then not do the work and have to loop back again and do it all over. And this is that's the goal of the media. That's the goal of this whole realm of illusion and distraction, is to program to the collective that it's okay that you want to loop back here and be part of or the powers that are controlling what I'm saying is, think about every time you go outside and go and do something and you're getting taxed, right? That, set aside the fiat, okay, that's going to be digitalized, moving on into it's already being digitalized, obviously, but more and more, into thin air. Is this going to be it's going to be air money, all digital. I mean, I'm just obviously exaggerating. There will be money, but what's the value? What's the value? They're printing it into oblivion. So what's the value in 20 years? I don't know. I'm not here to argue that. My point is to set the whole concept of that aside and look at it as your energy. So when you go anywhere, you get taxed. That's just your energy being harvested. They're harvesting your energy however they possibly can. Hop in the car. You can walk on your feet. That's tax free. But you're still paying for those shoes, or you paid sales tax for those shoes, unless you're barefoot or you made your own shoes or made your own sandals. I guess you get my point here. It's at least stuff to ponder of, do you care about quality? And also, when it comes to quality of life, what does that even mean to you internally? Having the best of the best? Are you going to work to earn the money? Or maybe you don't work to earn the money because you inherited the money or you came up on the money. It happens. Is there any discipline there? Is there any appreciation there? Is there any respect there? Is there any love there? Is there any betterment of life there? No. And if you thought that there was, you should probably think again and stop chasing things. There's nothing to chase and there's nothing to run from. You just need to be. You just need to be what you're here to be. And to do that, you got to go within. We have a unique coding that we're all here to unravel. That is your perpetual creative life force. This is how I repeat it. It's in a self-contemplation. It's in a perpetual self-contemplation in your life spirit. So, collectively, we are the sun. We are all balls of light, and collectively, we are the sun and the moon. So, this sort of control psychologically are different aspects to the matrix that we participate in now. So again, there is nothing to chase, nothing to avoid. This is just to bring an awareness internally to the individual as we continue to traverse these realms and unlock our boundless potential. It's very interesting to note too. I mean, growing up in outskirts of it, right outside of Atlanta, they put this programming into the most busy areas, and some of the programming is specific and particular to certain areas, and some of it is collective. They'll say something very similarly, or let's put it this way. They are very carefully programming, what they want to put out, and it might be the same narrative across the nation, even though it's not the same story. It's just that the headline has a certain program to it that is embedding into the subconscious of every individual that's participating in the news channel, watching the news channel, and feeding it to them. And now their belief systems are being reshaped and refined by Fox News, and the Fox News the controllers of this they understand what they're doing. They're looping you into a prana harvesting ritual and getting you to believe in everything that they're headline. They're looping you into their universe, their matrix, not yours. They're taking you out of yours and saying, hey, give us your life force, give us your prana, let us tell you what's going on. And at first that was okay, but when you see the intention, the incentive behind the programming is diabolical and not true, it's not pure, it's not healthy, it's then you have to, you start to question because we're talking $billion industries, $trillion industries. So what is even money when it $1 trillion? What does that even mean? What does that even, can you fathom that? I can't. Um, so it's like, you know, everybody's here for a purpose, and if you happen to be, you know, magnetically aligning and attracting the 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 frequency that's being conveyed through these presentations, it's certainly going to challenge anybody that is being wrapped up by the material world. It's not that anything is right or wrong. You're going to make your decisions and make your mistakes, but you don't have to look at it as a mistake. You just look at it as a time to learn, a learning process. So I did want to, I guess I decided to go on with this video longer than usual today, so whatever, we'll keep going. Oops. What is this? Oh, there we go. So the demonic, satanic influences, these, the sentence that I just read, specific shapes and symbols. Okay, the shapes hold frequencies just like your thoughts, just like colors, and just like your emotions. And all these things congeal, and they're interconnected, and they interweave each other in this boundless potential that exists everywhere. It permeates existence. These universal forces are being utilized as the medium through which these negative embedments of frequency are merged into the geometry, and then they're being harnessed through the imagination and the dictation of the programmers to impress into our subconscious mind, the individual and the collective. And this is, again, this is what is bombarding, and it's being forced down our throats, and it has been for generations. They've been pushing this cramming this stuff into our head and overstimulating, overwhelming people on a day-to-day basis, and then medicating people with saying, oh, you have anxiety, you have nervousness, you have depression, you have, all these words that have been written into a DSM-5 manual that are dis-eases or frequency imbalances within the individual that can be expressed, alleviated, and rebalanced through the efforts of the individual going within and having the intention, rather than stagnating in fear, running to somebody that will prescribe them the quickest temporary fix, which is actually becomes prolonged in its temporary relief efforts, and now something else, because it's a chemical that's synthetic and it's not natural to our biochemistry. Some of the medicine is, but a lot of it isn't. A lot of it's not, especially big pharma, and it's causing other problems and other imbalances and other diseases. So instead of actually alleviating and balancing out the disturbed center and having the proper training to initiate through whether it be somebody using their sixth sense or whatever, their shaman senses, or you're using instrument or whatever it may be, to get to the core of it. The instruments are now being used to see how much money they can extrapolate off of a single person, because if they can loop somebody into 30 or 40 years of taking a medicine, you know how much fucking money that is for one person to get hooked, to be taken? Do you know how much fucking money that is? And let's not even talk about chemotherapy treatments. I'm not saying they're bad guys. I'm looking at this from a profiteering standpoint. Whether or not you think this shit works is, that's your belief system. I'm not here to discuss. I'm looking at from a business standpoint, how would these corporations exist and sustain if they didn't have strategies implemented to prolong the payment, the getting paid. I'm sorry, not prolong, to perpetuate them getting paid, rather than it being a one-time cure. Okay, this is what you need to do. It'll cost $300, whatever. It'll cost this amount of money. Or, you know what? How about just keeping people healthy, teaching people how to be healthy out of the goodness of humanity, teaching people how to seek inner clarity and establish a balanced center within, so that we're not looking outwards and externally for answers and clues to how to heal. I'm not saying that that's the point of when I say we're here to remind each other and help each other remember. We're supposed to be helping each other heal here, not giving each other more problems because you think you're right or I think I'm right. Whatever the case may be, there's foundational truth here in this universe. And that's where universal forces and understanding what the ancestors were understanding. That's what all this distraction is for. And you'd say, oh, whatever, whatever, Joe, or, and that's fine. I get it, because I was thinking the same thing when I first heard somebody talk about the illusion. But, granted, I had experience with psychedelics at an early age. I knew that whatever people were telling me, it wasn't just that. It was never just this or just that, especially referring to this matrix, this mainstream. People are literally putting their energy and their belief systems into the mainstream for decades of time, and it becomes their belief systems. Okay, and belief systems are nothing but control systems. They're systems to control what you manufacture from your thoughts. Your frequencies of thought are now entwined by these belief systems. But to truly be the belief system, which I heard this analogy or whatever from, where did I hear this? Anyways, it was, I'll remember. But you have to be able to, I've heard this in multiple places, but you have to be able to drop what you believe and inform and reshape constantly. That's what being a spiritual individual is. That's what tapping into your spiritual essence is. It's your creative potential. It's your boundless creative potential. To stop giving our essence away. It's even to people like that we, love and care about. You have to protect your thoughts. You have to protect your truth. You have to protect your heart, protect your love, protect yourself from the even because these are disguised. They just like our thoughts are formless and can reshape themselves. Similarly, the negative in this matrix does the same. It can reshape and manifest itself and disguise itself. So that's why the awareness within is so assistive. It's such a great utility, and that's why the divine, the creator, has embedded this into our code. Before we are delivered, this intelligence is embedded into our code. Before we are delivered here into this physical construct, that is the all existing permeating intelligence that you can call it whatever you wish to call it, but to respect it and develop and cultivate an awareness within, that's where your potential is as an individual. Collectively, we have mastermind ability. We have a collective mastermind ability that is, if you think the boundless potential within is powerful, working in harmony with those around you through love and balanced effort, and in a service for the best for yourself, but also the best for others at the same time. And people say, "Oh, this could never." Well, why could this never happen? Because you've looped your train of thought into this matrix field. Whatever you want to believe is now you're programming your belief system, and this is what's keeping us from an understanding that collectively there is, just like there's boundless potential right now within you, there's boundless potential in this multitude of universes to potentiate anything through our efforts of initiation of our willpower. And I do believe there are a lot of people out here that are working towards what I'm conveying here. So this is why I'm sharing it, and hopefully this resonates. I really am. That's my goal here, is to share as much information as possible and be as helpful as possible to as many people as possible. That's in the bio, I think, of this YouTube. I might change it in the future. It's the original. Once I started making videos, I realized I'm going to be straightforward as possible. I'm just trying to be assistive. So this material is to be a utility. I'm here to communicate with you. If you want to talk about anything that's on your mind, feel free to share your insights. They are much appreciated. And today we're going out. So we're going strong. We're almost an hour into the presentation today, which is absolutely fine. So the boundless potential within. Let's keep working towards creating, developing healthy relationship patterns and observing our own. Become the observer of our own patterns with everything that exists and that we're doing in this life experience currently and have done. Get down to those base traumas, and to get into that subconscious, which again, that requires, you stop being distracted. So anyways, let me close this out. The final thoughts here for today are to have fun and enjoy the rest of your week, and keep exploring the boundless potential. Keep creating. Keep going hard with whatever you're doing. Don't beat yourself up in this process. Love yourself. Learn. Continue to be the student. Continue to be a teacher where you can, and a student always. And I'm gonna close out this video. It's Wednesday here, and so we're in the middle of the week, and I wish everybody a wonderful rest of your week. So with that being said, thank you so much again for sticking around if you made it to the end of this video, and please take care in your endeavors, and I'll see you in the next video. Much love. Peace.